indeed an absolutely fabulous concert in there. I told you, I warned you, a marvellous prelude to Australia's birthday tomorrow. What do you think?
Quite fantastic, absolutely brilliant. I think one of the high points for me was the Australian rock and roll theme.
Yeah.
That was absolutely brilliant. But then again, all the entertainers right through, I think it was just a wonderful, wonderful show. We had the opportunity to see most of it, apart from the television coverage, and it was just marvellous. Really hope you enjoyed it at home. The Prince and Princess of Wales are just coming out of the tunnel from the auditorium. There's been 10,000 people inside there tonight enjoying it.
Some very happy people in there
They're
too.
about to meet the stars of the evening. And of course, there we have Pat Condon, who is one of the promoters of this evening's event.
And with Prince Charles is David Mitchell, the producer of the event, and of course that face he's shaking hands with now is one of the most famous faces in Australia, actor Jack Thompson, who of course was the master of ceremony.
You asked earlier this evening when the princess arrived, Tim, about her dress, and I must admit it puzzled me for a moment as she sort of fleetingly flew through the foyer, but I gather it's a Bruce Oldfield dress. It's cream satin and shoes and handbags.
That's the famous designer in London.
That's the famous designer, and in fact I know the princess does a lot of work for the Barnard Boys Home, because Bruce Oldfield is an old Barnard's boy, and in fact I believe in Australia she is doing some function or other with them. She is very proud of his designs, wears a lot of them, so there you go, girls, a double-breasted cream satin jacket over a short cream lace dress.
She would look beautiful in a Glad bag. She's just a very,
Glad bag.
Well, I mean, this is I remember back a few years when they were here, I guess it must have been 83, I was working for Eyewitness News at the time, and I caught glimpses as they flashed past in cars, but this is the closest I've ever been, and she really is an astonishingly beautiful lady.
She is. When I met her last time in Australia, I just couldn't believe her translucent skin. She's got the most beautiful features and cream complexion and gorgeous eyes.
Moving along the line now, Prince Charles chatting with Russell Hitchcock and Graham Russell from Air Supply, and the most famous group exported from this country for hits in the United States, next to the Bee Gees. In fact, I think they only need one more #1 hit record and they'll be equal with the Bee Gees in America. And there she is, the beautiful Princess of Wales.
Yes, I'm noticing the sort of jewellery she's wearing this evening. It just looks like the pearls there. I can't really see anything from the front. Haven't had a good close-up look there myself yet.
There's Peter, shaking hands with the Prince.
She loves a lot of entertainment.
Oh, yes.
She
likes the rock and roll, too.
Loves the rock and roll. I think she might have liked Ice House this evening.
Would have enjoyed Ice House immensely, I'm sure, and the Eurogliders. In fact, that whole Australian rock and roll sequence, it was great to see little Paddy and Cold Joy and the Deltones still rocking around after all these years. Fantastic to see. And Peter, of course, he was around then with his pseudo brother, the Allen brothers.
Great entertainer, gone on to such wonderful things, and we had Peter last week on Good Morning Australia. He is going off to Broadway. In fact, he was telling me earlier he's leaving on Thursday, goes into rehearsal for the show, and it's a show he had a lot to do in writing. But he tells me he's got to sign up for a 2-year contract. Now, you know, you and I both know how long that is on Broadway when you're doing so many matinees, but the promoters believe that's the only way they can get in and out of those very expensive shows, because it's very expensive on Broadway these days.
Absolutely. Well, the Prince and Princess, the Princess is still with Russell Hitchcock. I think Prince Charles has moved on to Ivor Davies
I
from
wonder if
Ice
she's
House.
got a few albums of Air Supply at home.
I think she might. I think she'd like a good love song. They've certainly produced and sung many great love songs. There's David Mitchell, who would think would be breathing a great big sigh of relief at this moment and wiping his brow, happy that the concert is in fact over. But of course the Prince and Princess of Wales obviously having a wonderful time. And there's the lady who drew an enormous response from the crowd when she walked out. We all love her, Olivia.
Olivia Newton-John.
Next to her, our latest star, Kylie Minogue.
I must admit, hearing Olivia and Cliff Richard sing that song suddenly